going on, world? You know, already know what it is. It's your boy Niner Gang Podcast back in the building. Hit that like button, subscribe button, turn on them post notifications so I can keep you up to date on anything and everything NFL, along with the San Francisco 49ers. That being said, let's get right on into it, man. You know what I'm saying? The 49ers have finally gotten their roster. Football is only 4 days away, people. It is back. Thank you, God, because I've been dying to get some 49er football going. I've been dying to do some new content. Definitely, you know what I'm saying? I told you I was going to have some new stuff on the channel. As y'all can see, the camera is nice and crispy. Your boy don't look red no more. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about making sure that the lighting is correct. And then at the same time, just upgrading the camera. I know my mic sounds a lot better when it comes down to it, you know, as far as like what I'm looking for and whatnot, as far as that goes. And then, you know, as y'all can see, once again, the camera is nice and crispy. So let's talk about it, man. 49ers now have their 53-man roster. And basically, instead of me going to like ESPN or some, you know, NFL to get the roster, even 49ers.com, because they don't even keep their roster updated down to the minute like some of these other websites do. And that's actually sad that other websites to get roster updates in before they do. I don't understand that, but it is what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We're going to take a look at the current roster that we do have. CJ Gray, what's happening with you? So let's take a look at it, man. Give me just a second. And this is from the 49ers Hub. Shout out to 49ers Hub for this beautiful roster that they have laid out. You know what I'm saying? Seems to be very, very elementary, but it still makes total sense. So let's start off where we always will start off, at the quarterback position. So obviously you have these two quarterbacks here. You have Brock Purdy. You have Mac Jones. Mac Jones is our current backup. We already know that. And then as of right now, I do believe I think they re-signed Tanner Mordecai. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't see any other quarterbacks here. So that tells me most likely they're trying to figure out who they want for the practice squad, and they'll figure that out later. Right now, we're only focused on the actual roster. So this is what we have. Next up on the list, as you can see, you see the running backs. You see Isaac Guerrero, Jordan James, Christian McCaffrey, and Brian Robinson Jr. Here's the situation, people. We have 4 backs. You ain't going to see but 2 of them, if you see 2. And I'll tell you why. Why? Because y'all know me. Y'all know how I feel about Kyle. And y'all know how I feel about Kyle Shanahan when he acts as if no other back besides CMC exists. See, here's the narrative that people are going to give you. Oh, well, why would you go away from him? He's so great. Because the man gets injured a lot. That's the problem. He does get injured very often. And you don't want that to be a big deal. You want that to be a situation where, hey, man, look, let's figure out what's going on. Let's try to make sure we load manage him properly. We have other viable backs in the building. We've drafted other viable backs. Like, there's a reason we initially started out in the Shanahan and John Lynch era with a running back by committee. But they seem to have forgotten that since Christian McCaffrey has gotten here. And now it's just put all the load on him until we break him. And then after we break him, we'll see what we got, which does not make sense. That is a bad way to look at things, especially if you're a head coach. And for the longevity of the player, you got to protect them from themselves. You can't continually just be letting CMC punk you and you the head coach. You should be the dude telling CMC, how about you sit down somewhere and chill out? Why don't you get some water? You know what I'm saying? Get a towel, wipe your face off or something like that. I'm not telling you you're losing your job. I didn't say that. I just said you don't need to be the only guy on the field. We have other backs. You do need a break every now and then, Christian, contrary to what you believe. Because Christian is kind of like George Kittle. Kittle will tell you on every play he opens, throw the ball no matter what. Kittle could be triple covered. He could be standing in front of a wall of 11 people from that same defense, and he'll tell you he wide open. That's just how he is. So I hope B-Rob will get a lot around CJ. I hope he will. And that's my hope. It's not I don't put any stock into anything until I actually see it with my own eyes when it comes to Kyle, because his track record just shows you, unfortunately, that this is the situation. Every time Kyle is about to, you know, you think Kyle's evolved, he shows you regression. He does. And it's unfortunate, but let's hope this year he actually does. Because this is let me just talk to y'all about the running back situation. So obviously you have Christian McCaffrey. Guys that's in number 2 is Brian Robinson Jr. Then you got Isaac Rendo and you got Jordan James. We were hoping to probably have Corey Kiner, but Kiner wound up with a high ankle sprain. He got waived. Jordan James is still here. Why? Because we drafted him. Now, we all know the story and the history of us drafting running backs. They do nothing. They don't become anyone, and they never pan out. And if you don't believe me, I have facts on my side. You can't argue with truth and reality. Whether you think, oh, well, you can't always think like that. Guy's been here 8 going on 9 years, and I can't always think like that, but it's happened for that long of a span of time. I am so sorry, people. You can't tell me something that happened for 8, 9 years, and then magically it's just going to change in that 9th or 10th year. That does not make sense. Like, I'm sorry. You're literally just completely disobeying things. Well, here's my thing with that, CJ. I'll tell you this. The reason Kyle had to worry about defense was because it was his fault. See, I blame Kyle for things that he did on his own. I don't blame Kyle for stuff he can't control. He couldn't control CMC fumbling in that last Super Bowl that we went to. That's not Kyle's job. He doesn't run the plays, he calls the plays. So I can't put him at fault for something that Christian McCaffrey did. And he should be that dude. But what happened in that game? Christian McCaffrey was out there with a bum calf. Every time that man went to the sideline, they had that damn massage gun on that calf. Why? Keep trying to loosen it up. When you had Jordan Mason and Elijah Mitchell healthy, fully healthy, you could have ran a 3-back system with all 3 of those backs. They all bring something different. Jordan, banger. He runs up the middle, put him in. You know what I'm saying? Elijah Mitchell, at that time, shifty, moves, hits, all of that. Christian, everything all encompassed in one. You love the dude, and you love everything he brings. He's got it all. But you could have ran a 3-back system, but you chose not to. You chose to run Christian into the ground and not let these other guys get no burn. But then when they did get on the field and they did do something, these dudes are averaging 5, 6, 7 yards a carry. But you neglect that because you got to run back to go and give Christian the ball. You're not making sense. So I can't. And then when I say that the defense is his fault, you hired Nick Sorensen. That's your boy. You made that decision. So by you hiring, you doing what I always say on this channel, helping out the homie, you screwed that up. That's your fault. So I don't give Kyle no reprieve for last year. I don't give Kyle no slack for the defense being crappy last year. Why? Because this was your fault. You hired Nick Sorensen. That was why our defense was trash. And now you've got Robert Saleh and Gus Bradley, the purveyor of our defense, in the building. So yes, of course you don't have to worry about anything. Why? Because you don't have a rookie as defensive coordinator. You've got 2 vets. One guy who created the system and the other guy who learned it and mastered it and made it better. So now you don't have to worry about that. You know what I'm saying? It's just a different situation. I'm going to go ahead and do this anyway. It's a little free puff for shout out Gus's Fried Chicken. If you are ever out in the Ahwatukee area of Phoenix, Arizona, please go to Gus's world famous chicken. Some of the best fried chicken you ever tasted in your life. What's going on? Jet in the building. I appreciate your home, girl. Love that you showed up. But this is what I mean. So just to be able to get off the running backs and move forward, obviously, because I can sit on the soapbox forever. At the end of the day, it's very simple. You have CMC. You go and trade for Brian Robinson Jr. Because why? The Commanders are moving in a different direction. They want to be able to just try to do things just slightly different and maybe not have to pay it back. So here's my thing. Brian Robinson came in and literally said, I'm here to compliment Christian. Kyle Shanahan literally said, we brought Brian in to be our number 2 back. So you know what that tells me if I'm Isaac Rendo and Jordan James? Y'all ain't worth nothing. We don't need you. Why are you even here? Because Isaac Rendo was supposed to be the number 2. Jordan James is supposed to be the number 3. But you bring in Brian Robinson, so you kick those dudes further down the depth chart. And what does this do? It proves me right. 2 more drafted dudes who ain't never gonna see the field. Somebody stop me when I'm wrong. I understand that Garendo gets hurt, but that's the problem. They're not drafting the right back. I understand Jordan's a rookie. Doesn't make a difference. Once again, I don't care what happens to these players, what their health is or is not. At the end of the day, your scout team, the people you trust to go out and find these people, did their job. They picked these dudes. So Garendo getting hurt a lot. Who's that on? Scout team should have understood that, should have seen his injury history, taken a look at it, and made sure they made do with it. But in this regime, we love injured players. We always do. We redshirt people. We draft injured players. We do this all the time. But then it comes to Jordan James, another guy you drafted. So every running back you draft does nothing. Means that why do you waste draft picks on guys you're not going to play? Use that draft pick in a better fashion. Give us more depth on this shitty-ass O-line we got. Yes, the crap O-line that we have that Kyle and Chris Forrester would swear is the greatest O-line known to man, and they think Drake Brindle is the greatest center in the game, which we all know he's not. So this is what I'm saying. Like, that's why I'm trying to let you know I understand the dynamics of Jordan being a rookie. Hey, what's going on, Kenny? I understand the dynamics of, Isaac unfortunately being hurt. These are things that fall back on scouting and fall back on the coaching staff. You guys must know and understand these things before you take these players. Do your research. It's not hard. We live in an age where any and everything as far as information is out there on the internet. Anything you want to know about these dudes, personal, not personal, professional, not professional, you can find anything, anywhere. So for me, if you knew Isaac Garendo was an injury-prone type of back, why'd you draft him? If you knew you weren't even going to waste your time with Jordan James, why did you draft the kid? Why are we wasting picks, taking chances on dudes we never going to give a shot to? That is the worst thing you can do to a young man. Draft him and sit him. Because what people don't understand is, though you're in the NFL, there is a structure to the NFL. There is a way to become a veteran. There is a way to be able to get paid. There are different things. This is why you have exclusive rights free agents. This is why you have unrestricted free agents, why you have restricted free agents, why you have all these designations and all these things that come into play. You have to play a certain amount of games, a certain amount of minutes, a certain amount of snaps. There is so much more that goes into being a professional football player that people do not think about outside of just being on the team. Being on the team is nice, but that doesn't give you everything you need. You got to actually be on the field and play to be able to really earn your money. That's all I'm saying. This is just how this works. It's just like being on a job. Job may tell you, hey, man, you got to be here 6 months before you get a promotion. So during that 6 months, you busting your butt. You're doing everything you need to do. When that 6 months comes up, you say, hey, you told me when I got here, I needed to wait 6 months. My 6 months is up. I've done my job. How can I get paid? How can I move up? Where do I need to go? How can I progress? But that's what I'm saying. So I honestly can tell you right now, I don't believe that we see a lot of Brian Robinson Jr. and we'll never see Jordan James or Isaac Garendo. 2 more running backs that were drafted, 2 more wasted picks. Tell me I'm wrong. And please come at me with facts. Don't come at me with I think or maybe, I'm not sure. Please come at me with facts. You know what I'm saying? So moving on rapidly, we have our wide receivers, Russell Gage Jr., Juwan Jennings, Sky Moore, Ricky Pearsall, Jordan Watkins, and Demarcus Robinson. Now, here's the thing. Jordan Watkins, he's got an injury. We already know about that. I believe that was a high ankle sprain. I think so. But when it comes to Demarcus Robinson, his appeal for his suspension did not go through. So that is still a 3-game suspension that will be served by Demarcus Robinson. The reason you're keeping the guy on the staff is because you like him. Russell Gage, we just got him in the building. Sky Moore, we picked up Sky Moore because they dropped Junior Bergen, but they signed Junior Bergen back to the practice squad, if I'm not mistaken. So it should be good there. When it comes down to all of these receivers and you look at these dudes, this is alarming. And this is what scares me, is that people aren't bothered. Nobody's worried. Oh, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Bro, did you look? Russell Gage, questionable. Juwan Jennings, still dealing with that calf injury, questionable. Then you've got, the only two people on here that literally are green and active is Sky Moore and Ricky Pearsall. We ain't going to see this dude for 3 games, guaranteed. You might as well just cross him off the list. They should have just put a big X on him for the moment. But what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to hope that Juwan, truthfully, is not injured. I don't think he is. I think he's just holding out for more money. You're going to have to hope that he's good. You're going to have to hope that Russell Gage is good, along with the fact that Jordan Watkins can come back from a high ankle sprain just a little bit early. So we hope we have to manage it properly so he doesn't re-injure himself. But that's what I'm saying. You're looking at it and you see this. This is like, what? Why do we have 2? You got 6 dudes up here and only 2 of them can play. I'm sorry. With Juwan Jennings, let me just touch on that situation right now. I don't think Juwan is hurt. I think Juwan's holding out because he wants to try to get more money. Here's the issue. Juwan's agent is Drew Rosenhaus, if I'm not mistaken. Drew is known, man. Drew Rosenhaus is one of the top agents in sports, period. What's going on? Yes, I'm going to get to that too. Thank you. I appreciate you, Dave. But Drew Rosenhaus is one of the best agents known to man when it comes to sports in general. Man does it across all sports, you know that name. But I don't understand how Drew didn't tell Juwan what should have worked. It's simple. Don't go in there asking for no more damn money. Take your ass in there, do your job, ball out, and we're going to get money elsewhere next year. The 49ers, so it was reported Juwan wants $20 million or above. Juwan's not getting $20 million here. I could see them doing Juwan a solid, maybe in somewhat to the degree of what they did for Trey Hendrickson, making sure he's an unrestricted free agent next year and giving him a little bit more money to be able to play and be cool. See, right now, Juwan is set to make, I believe, $7.5 million. If I'm going to appease Juwan and it's within my cap space, then this is if. I never said I would do it. This is if. But if I want to go ahead and do that and I see Juwan, then I'm going to tell Juwan, look, man, I know you look. You'll have to get your money elsewhere. We don't have it. I can't pay you and BA. I have Ricky Pearsall. I have a few other casts that I'm looking into that's going to come down the pipe. At the end of the day, JJ, we love you. You are third, and Juwan, you will forever be loved in this franchise. The faithful will always have respect for you because you helped us out. But at the end of the day, sir, you need to go elsewhere and get your money. Look, you were going to make 7.5. Now you're making 12. That's a $5 million raise, okay? And living in California is technically like a $2.5 million raise because the other 2.5 going to taxes. But you broker a deal with him so that he understands, hey, look, man, we ain't got it, and we're not going to give it to you. But what we are going to do is we'll boost your pay a little bit. You should be happy. You get a little bit of extra bread, and next year you're going to go and be somebody's number 1 or the most solid number 2 out there. That's how that will work. The man almost hit 1,000 yards had he not blocked somebody into this year that we're currently in. But it is what it is. So for me, if I'm Drew Rosenhaus, I tell Juwan, let's get rid of this fake calf injury that we've been trying to use against the team, and let's get out there and ball. I need you to go out and have the most solid season that you can have. With all the injuries that we have at receiver, this is the opportunistic moment for Juwan Jennings to shine and get a ridiculous sum of money, because we all know and understand that teams will overpay for just a year of hype. I've seen it one too many times. Hypothetically speaking, Juwan Jennings, I'm going to give you some stats, and this is going to be very simple. These are just hypotheticals. Juwan Jennings comes out, he's got at least 1,000 to 1,200 yards this year. He's got at least 12 to 15 touchdowns. He's going to get the best number 2 money on the market anywhere. And if there's somebody that don't have a number one, they're going to overpay him to be their number one. You got to learn the game, young blood. Understand how to get your bread. And Drew, being the smart agent that you are, talk to your guy. Don't set him up for this. Why? I wouldn't have said nothing until I came in, took my $7.5 million and been happy. I'd have balled and I'd have moved on. I mentally had it in my head why I wasn't going to be here next year because he's too damn good. And the league has seen it. You can't hide that. Jordan Mason, really, really good. Where's Jordan Mason? In Minnesota. Why? Because he's that good and he showed it. And the league saw it. Jawan Jennings, that damn good. The league saw it. Like, these are things that are happening that you must understand. You can't keep doing that to yourself. So those are some of our guys right there. You go over to tight end. We got Luke Farrell, George Kittle, Jake Tonjes. This makes sense to me. It's perfectly fine. I do believe that they could use a couple of two tight end sets when it comes to Farrell and Kittle. I would love to see that. That take a little bit of pressure off Brock. And plus, when you're running the ball, a two tight end set is even better because those two tight ends can act almost as if they're offensive linemen. They're going to be great at blocking. Luke Farrell's a pretty good blocker, but he's a better pass catcher. Although if I'm going to run a two tight end set and I'm running blocking, I'm putting in Jake Tonjes because he blocks better than he catches. These are just simple things, people. So I'm not mad at the tight end room. Tight end room makes total sense. Then you're going to slide over to our offensive tackles. Now you got Spencer Burford, Colton McKivitz, Austin Pleasance, Trent Williams, and Isaac Alarcon. Of course, the two starters are McKivitz and Trent Williams. Trent to left, McKivitz to right. Having Burford and Austin Pleasance, I didn't think Pleasance was going to make this team, to be honest with you. And then Isaac Alarcon, I guess, you know what I'm saying? But then he's on a suspension right now, so we couldn't use him if we wanted to anyway. Then you're going to go in the center. You have Jake Brendel and Matt Hennessy. Hennessy was a little bit of disappointment. I really expected him to come in and try to take that job from Jake Brendel. But I didn't see anything in the preseason that said he should even start over him. It kind of sucks because we were basically hoping for some kind of upgraded center. But Brendel it is. So then you're going to take a look. You got the guards. You got Ben Barch, Connor Colby, Drew Moss, and Dominic Pooney. Obviously, Pooney is going to be the right guard. The left guard right now at this present time most likely is going to be Ben Barch. Do I want Ben Barch to be left guard? No, because he ain't going to do nothing but play good 2 games and crumble like a paper towel with water on it. And you're doing a stretch test. And you got the cheap ones, like, you got the Walmart brand that costs like 89 cents versus going and getting some bounty that's going to cost you a couple more bucks, but it's stronger. That's just how he is. So I'm not going to lie to you. Drew Moss was all right. He wasn't great, but Connor Colby showed me some things. It's nice. He was a 7th round pick and he made this squad, but it's not hard to make a squad when you're a 7th round pick and they don't really invest in an offensive line like that in the first place now, is it? So, honestly, Dominic Pooney being the right guard, I know we see questionable on him and Barch. They're going to play. They have to list him as questionable if there's any possible injury. This is always how it works. And that's my dog right there. Yes, sir. Oh, before I keep moving, Dave put this up. Shout out to Dave. Definitely, Jacob Cowing is out for 6 weeks. This is another blow to the Niners receiving corps. Here's the problem, man, with Jacob Cowing. You feel for the guy. I really want that dude to get on the field because I believe he's special and I believe he's got talent. But good Lord, man, can you not get injured? Can you find a way to stay on the damn field? Can you not do this to yourself? Because we can't do nothing else. It's very frustrating. But it kind of is what it is. So then you take a look at it, of course, only fullback on squad, Juice. We don't really need to go over him. It doesn't make any sense. So as far as our defensive ends, we got Robert Beal Jr., Nick Bosa, Yetur Gross-Matos, Bryce Huff, and Michael Williams. Now I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this as simply as I put. We could have been done with Robert Beal Jr. He ain't done nothing to give nobody no reason to make this damn squad. I don't know why he's here. We all know why Nick Bosa is here. I'm not even going to touch on him. It doesn't make sense. The fact that says questionable is a joke. Nick Bosa will be out there on the field day one playing for the 49ers. Yetur Gross-Matos, another dude. We could have invested a little bit better in the defensive end department because Yetur Gross-Matos spent 90% of his time where? on the damn injury list. This is just how Yetur works, and I'm tired of it. The only thing cool about this dude is his name. Other than that, he stays on the bench. He never goes in the game. He barely produces. I have no idea why he's even here. It's a waste of space. Bryce Huff, we got Huff because he was one of Robert Saleh's guys when he was in New York. Then he wound up getting a big contract, went over to Philly. They used him improperly, and now he's back with Robert Saleh, and they plan on using him the way that they used him in New York, and he should be a little bit better. And then we have Michael Williams, who's questionable. Here's my problem with Michael Williams. When we drafted him, he had an ankle problem. Then that ankle problem came and bit him right after the first preseason game. We ain't seen him since. And I can tell you right now, a lot of these players are on ice just because they want to be able to get them into the season and have them being, done right. But my problem is, why do you keep drafting players that are injured? And why do you keep doing it with first-round picks? You drafted Javon Kinlaw, injury-prone. The man never amounted to shit in the NFL. He still ain't worth nothing. And it's nothing on him personally, but I'm sorry. If you look at your playing career, sir, your playing career is just not good. Then you draft Michael Williams with an ankle problem. Man couldn't play the whole season. He always dealt with that as an ankle issue, and now he's dealing with it right now. This doesn't make sense. Why do we invest in players that have injury freaking history? It don't make no sense. I'm tired of it, man. I really am. Really quick, CJ says, I think Kyle's scheme and running game can keep us afloat until we get Robinson and BA back to pair with Ricky. We can't pay JJ for 6 games. I mean, that's true. I agree with you on that one. That one I definitely do. But here's the main issue with that, CJ. We always start slow. We have only started off fast, I think maybe twice in the whole time Kyle's been here. I know 2019 we did. I think we went 8-0 or 9-0, and I believe it was another year where we went like 4 or 5-0, something like that. But yeah, Kyle, we start slow notoriously under Kyle. We always do. So as far as this list, the only people to me that seem to matter are these 3, and that's Nick Bosa, Bryce Huff, and Michael Williams. Robert Beal Jr. ain't doing a damn thing for nobody, and we ain't got nothing from Yetur Gross-Matos the whole time he's been here, so I have no idea why he's still here. It just doesn't make sense. So then you slide down to the defensive tackle spot. We got Alfred Collins, Kalia Davis, Jordan Elliott, Jordan Jefferson. They just picked this dude up, Samuel and CJ West. Now, I've said this before. My favorite rookie is CJ West. This dude has an infectious, happy personality. Like, you never want to be down around this cat. You don't want to say negative. Like, negativity just almost all but doesn't exist in his world. He just seems like the happiest person ever. I don't know. I like the kid. He just seems like a really cool guy. If I ever get a chance to meet him, I would love that. Just to be able to shake his hand and just feel that positive energy coming off of him. It's great. So let's start with the first guy. This dude right here, big boy. Big boy, 6'5", 332 pounds. That's a big boy. That's just a grown-ass man. But he ain't got no skills. He has no pass rush. He has no run stop. Everybody is hoping that this dude is going to suck up two guys and give other guys opportunities. Let me explain something to you. This is the NFL, people. This is the NFL. Guards and centers know how to deal with just a big body. It is extremely rare that you just having a big body is enough in the NFL. There are only a few players that could get away with that, and I'm sorry, Alfred Collins right now is not one of them. The man doesn't have any moves. All you got is a bull rush, and all I've seen preseason is just you be a statue, and everybody's like, oh, well, he didn't do anything in OTAs. That's because he didn't want to sign his contract because every second-round pick thought they was going to get guaranteed money like everybody else. That's the only reason. I don't believe he was injured. All the other rookies practice. But why? They signed their contracts. So for me personally, Alfred Collins has been a disappointment thus far. I know Saleh and everybody is praising him. They can't openly crap on their players. People, you have to know and understand this. But me, Collins, nah. Kalia Davis, nah. I really don't care. At this point, I'm tired. You've been here 4 years and you've never done nothing for the 49ers. Not a damn thing. He's looked all right in preseason, but I'm tired of seeing his face. We redshirted him his first year, and these last couple of years, he just can never be healthy, and he doesn't do anything. I'm just, it doesn't make sense. Jordan Elliott, he's been, pretty cool. He's been all right. You know what I'm saying? Jordan Jefferson, they're gushing over him and all this other crap and how they liked him coming out of college and all this. I believe Jordan Jefferson when I see him on the field. I'm sorry. When you pick somebody up and they've been nobodies for that long, and then now you randomly pick them up and they just supposed to turn into a somebody, that make no sense. Samuel, you gotta love Samuel. He's done some nice things. He's no superstar, over the moon type guy, but he's done some cool things. And of course, you got C.J. West. Um, Definitely questionable because he hyperextended that knee. I don't. If C.J. West was healthy and he never got injured throughout the preseason, I think he would have earned himself a starting defensive tackle spot. But with the way that this list is looking right now, it looks like it's going to most likely wind up being Kalia Davis and Jordan Elliott, or Kalia Davis and Samuel, or one of those three. Like that three, it's going to be a combination of any of those dudes. You know what I'm saying? So next thing, we move on to the linebackers. We got Tatum Bethune, Luke Gifford, Nick Martin, Fred Warner, and D. Winters. Now, I don't know much about Gifford. It says he's got 7 years of NFL service there. As far as that's concerned, I do know who Tatum Bethune is. Of course, we've seen Nick Martin the last couple of games in preseason flying around, getting to the ball. We love it. We already know who D. Winters is, and we're hoping that he's the guy that's starting opposite Fred Warner whenever they have to do their nickel packages. I do like Tatum Bethune. We all remember that nice little hit he went ahead and put on, was it Ashton Genty? So he's done that, you know what I'm saying, versus the Raiders. So that's always a good thing. We definitely love that, as far as that's concerned. Yeah, I do. I think that D. Winters is ready to get out there and show the world who he is. Once again, you'll probably see the three guys you want to pay close attention to, obviously, are going to be Fred, Nick, and D. Luke and Tatum, they're just backups. That's what they are. They know their role. They understand that. It is what it is. But then you slide on down here to the safety position. Jair Brown, Jason Pinnock, and Marquis Siegel. Here's the thing. The reason you only see three and you don't see four is because they're waiting on Malik Mustafa to get back. I think Mustafa comes back quicker than BA does, because he looks like he's ready, but I think they're just trying to ramp him up, get him right, and do what they need to do. Pretty much our starters most likely are going to be Jair Brown and Marquis Siegel, unless Pinnock is healthy, and I know everybody is talking about him. And then, of course, with me, there's a lot of nepotism on the squad, not necessarily by family, but by favorites. And there have been some players that have come out that have been on the 49er squads and said there is favoritism there heavily. So it just kind of makes sense that would be the case, because, Salah's like, oh, well, I know Pinnock and I've seen him and I like what he does. And they always do that stuff, and it always blows my mind because I'm like, okay, you may like what the guy does, but are they a good fit for the scheme? Can they actually play? Because they obviously ain't been that damn good wherever the hell they work. That's always how it works. So then you go to cornerback. Renato Green, Diamador Lenore, Chase Lucas, Darrell Luter Jr., Ciron Neal, and Upton Stout. Now, I can tell you right now, this dude is going to be on special teams. That is why he is here. There is no other reason for that. And to be honest with you, you're probably going to see either Darrell Luter Jr. or Upton Stout possibly on special teams. Why? Because you're not going to put any of those first three out there outside of what they're doing. I do believe that you have Bernardo and Demo as your two outside guys, and Chase Lucas is going to be your slot guy. He's going to be your nickel guy. We drafted Upton Stout for that reason, but Upton Stout has not been playing and he has not been healthy. So that's the reason why you don't see the man on the field. Me personally, I do believe that once he gets healthy, if he has the opportunity, he can be able to, develop into that nickel corner that we would like. But what I will tell you is Chase Lucas is a nice little gem that we found. He balled out in the preseason and deserves that spot on the squad. If they would have cut him, I'd have been like, you guys are idiots, because he's going to go somewhere else and he's going to ball. But that's just what it is. We all know that, Bernardo in his second year is going to look better. We know Demo's going to look better. I think Chase is going to do very well in that slot position. We'll just have to kind of see what things are. And, I'm happy for Darrell Luter Jr., the fact that the man's actually healthy, that he's on the field, that he's doing things. That's fantastic. I love that. Then, of course, John Weiss is long snapper. No one cares. Thomas Morstead as a punter, of course. Jake Moody. is still our kicker. Missed some kicks in the preseason. And I don't know, man. I don't know. See, a lot of people give passes consistently. Oh, well, we don't know. Moody is still a good dude. He's this, he's that, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. You're a kicker. Your only job is to put the ball through the uprights, bro. And you miss it. And you miss short stuff. You can make something long, but the short stuff, you find a way to screw it up. I need him to be consistent. I'm sorry. I can't have you missing extra points. I can't have you missing field goals when these things could have put us up and won us games. And see, a lot of people are like, oh, can you remember a game last year where Jake Moody lost us a game? I'm pretty sure if you do the research, you can probably find at least 4. Because I guarantee you there were games where we just asked him, all we asked him to do was do his job, and he couldn't do it, and we wind up losing by at least 3 points or less. In those games, if we asked Jake Moody to make a kick and he didn't make it, that is on him. That is a game he cost us. Because if you just would have put the shit through the uprights, you wouldn't have had this as an issue. Me personally, I don't like Jake Moody. I would have went with the veteran kicker and stuck with that and made my life that much easier. Why? Because obviously the kid ain't got it. I know he had that moment in the Raiders game where he kicked the game-winning field goal, but he also missed a field goal in that game. Why? And I know he loved everybody showing him all that love and doing everything great and all that stuff. But then he comes in the next game, what does he do? Same thing. This is another kick. You can't be inconsistent as a kicker. There is no wave when you're looking at your chart as a kicker. Your chart as a kicker should be a straight line, meaning you're making everything that you go out there to make. That's what that should be. It should not be, up and down and in and out. That's basic. So, with that being said, man, that is our roster. Obviously, you already know starting offensive line. The starting defensive line is always a question to me because I never know which way they're going to go. They don't give you too much on that. The offensive line is pretty obvious. The defensive line is where it gets a little confusing. I do honestly believe that personally, starting the season, we're going to have Bryce Huff on one end and Nick Bosa on the other edge. I do believe that's going to be the case. I don't think they're going to trot Mykel Williams out there and automatically do that. They like Mykel Williams because he can play defensive end and or defensive tackle. And, of course, if there's one thing that Kyle and Robert share the same, it's liking to have dudes that have versatility on their offensive and defensive lines. They want a dude who can play both spots or different spots. That way, if someone gets injured, they just slot you in there, and we just keep moving. Rather than, going, damn, now we got to go out and pick a dude up who does just this or has this skill set because we don't have anyone that has the versatility to do these things. But obviously, I would say starters are going to be most likely, if healthy, it would be Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall. You know what I'm saying? In the backfield, obviously, you'll have Christian McCaffrey and Kyle Juszczyk. You're going to have Brock Purdy as a starter. The offensive line is just strictly – what's going on, Rick? Offensive line is going to be Trent Williams, Ben Barge, Jake Brendel, Dominic Cooney, and Colton McKivitz. And, of course, at tight end, you're going to have George Kittle as your starter. As far as, like, your backups, as far as wide receivers, we'll see what happens. We'll hope and pray that these people are healthy enough to be able to go. So let's see here. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, man. I appreciate you, Rick. I really do, man. If you ever come out to Arizona, you come to the Arizona game, bro, I go every single year. Every year. Anytime they come to play the Niners, anytime Niners come to play the Cardinals here, I am at that game. I might try to make it to SoFi this year when they play the Lamb Chops. I might try to make it to SoFi. We'll see what happens. I definitely want to see that, man. I like CJ West, too. I definitely do think that he is good. Yeah, it's been a minute, man. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you, CJ. Rick. But that's our squad, man. And that's what we're made up of. We do have a very favorable schedule this season. Not too many playoff contenders. I think maybe 2 or 3 that actually made the playoffs last year, if that. But a lot of these guys didn't make the playoffs. Bottom of the barrel type teams. We had a really bad season, which is why our schedule was a little bit easier. Me personally, I think that we go at least 9-8, 10-7. That's the floor and the ceiling. Only because there's a lot of gelling that needs to happen on the defensive side of the ball with our defensive line and making sure that our back end is good. Because our safeties are just kind of going to be a little bit of a toss-up right now. I love what I'm seeing from Siegel. I love what I've seen from Jair Brown. But at the end of the day, we still got to let those dudes gel, bring themselves together, and mesh properly. Same thing with some of the things with the O-line, you know what I'm saying? We got to see how Ben Barsh does next to Trent Williams. We got to hope Trent Williams holds up for the whole season. You know what I mean? So these are just all these things that we're taking into account. The season is right around the corner. Like I said, we got 4 days, and then football begins, and that just sets off a fantastic trend. We love everything that we have about football, and we want to continue to keep making things known. So me personally, man, I'm going to definitely be doing more with these videos. They're just doing more in general, trying to keep things pushing. But I appreciate all of y'all for tuning in. There you go. Yeah, that's that. See, and people are like, oh no, we can go, 12-5 or even 13-4. I'm like, y'all got a lot of faith in the team that has a lot of uncertainty and a lot of questions. That doesn't make sense to me. So I don't understand that part, but it is what it is. I will say this. Be back with more videos. Make sure we're going to be doing more shorts, you know what I'm saying? Trying to expand this channel. If you know anybody that watches 49er content, tell a friend, or tell another friend, you know what I'm saying? Just continuing to try to grow the channel, try to get myself up over that 1K mark, you know what I'm saying? And just focus on football in general. And we'll talk about things, you know what I'm saying? I'll be doing shorts throughout the week to be able to make sure that I keep engaged with everyone. At least try to get at least one short in a day that pertains to football, with any breaking news, whatever the case may be. But other than that, man, stay up, stay faithful, stay blessed. This is our squad. These are the people that we got. We're going to figure out what we're going to do. And hopefully this is a good season for us. Honestly, if this season ends with us at least getting into the playoffs, I'm good enough with that. Because then that tells me that the team is headed in the right direction. If we don't make the playoffs, I can't really be overly disappointed because I'm not going to be overly optimistic like some content creators. There are a lot of content creators out there, man. I'm telling you right now, and this is no offense to any of them. You're starting to sound like Cowboy fans. You get delusional. You start thinking that no matter what, we're going to the Super Bowl. Don't work like that. And don't become Cowboy fans. Cowboy fans are delusional. They're the crazy ones. Let Cowboy fans, Jerry Jones, be the weirdos and the crazy people of the NFL. Let 49er fans continue to be the faithful, but continue to be the smart faithful, not the dumb faithful. We don't want faithfuls out there just blindly thinking every year is our year. That's not the case. I definitely don't think this year is our year. It would be beautiful because our literally Super Bowl is at our stadium. So, if you think about it, hey, if you play well enough, you could possibly get an NFC Championship game in your home and not have to go nowhere and just go to the Super Bowl. If we make the Super Bowl this year, I can't go to the Super Bowl because those tickets are going to be outrageous. But what I will tell you is I will definitely be in Frisco. I will be in San Jose. I'm going to be somewhere close by to be able to get there. Shout out to my man B-Dubs. He live in Gilroy. I might just, hey, B-Dubs, I'm pulling up, bro. Get your hundo. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I'm going to find a way to be there. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. I appreciate everybody for hanging out with your boy. Continue to keep up with the channel, man. We're going to be dropping more and more content. As I said, football is now started, so we're going to get into it. I already dropped a couple of shorts, on old Jerry screwing up his Cowboys again and making sure that these people understand that, unfortunately, this man is more about attention than winning Super Bowls. And I feel bad for Cowboy fans as fans because you're never going to get that as long as that man is alive. He's always going to do something stupid. He's always going to find a way to meddle in things and screw things up to a point where you'll never get to the Super Bowl because you're always going to have one side better than the other. You have to have two sides coming together to be able to meet that common goal. And I'm sorry, when you trade away a player like Michael Parsons, the 2 first-round picks and a subpar defensive tackle, it's no offense to Kenny Clark, but Kenny Clark is all right. If you're talking about Kenny Clark versus Michael Parsons, I'm going to take Michael all day. I'm just going to give you that. I will take Michael all damn day. No aspirations of taking Kenny Clark over Michael Parsons. It wouldn't make sense. So we'll see what happens, man. You know what I'm saying? It might. But see, here's the thing with that, CJ. You got 2 first-round picks for him, so you got one this coming year and one a year after that. You got to see if those 2 dudes work out, if they're just as good, if not better than Micah. That's going to be the hard part. That's the hard part there. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, man. Look, who was I watching? I was watching somebody the other day. Aqib Talib. Shout out to Aqib Talib. The man said the simplest and smartest thing. You get paid what the market dictates. And he explained it very simply. There was a lot of dudes getting paid more money than him that wasn't even half as good as he was. But their time came to get paid when the market dictated such. Prime example, Nnamdi Asomugha. Y'all remember that name? He's now an actor. He doesn't even play in the league anymore. Nnamdi Asomugha got paid and then got exposed. But why did Nnamdi Asomugha get paid? At the time, he was the best DB. He dictated the market. Right after Nnamdi Asomugha got paid, guess who goes into the Jets office running and crying like a little girl? Darrelle Revis. They want more money. They want to be paid the highest DB in the league. I don't want to play until you give me my money. When he just got fucking paid. Doesn't make sense. Why? See, in the Jets, they said, okay, well, we ain't got no other viable DBs. We got to get him at his money. Not me. You couldn't have had me as a GM. I looked that up. You just got paid. You don't want to play. That's fine. Sit out. We'll make sure we find you for everything that we can. We're going to recoup that damn money some way, one way or another. But I'm not giving you no more bread, bro. He got broke off because he earned it. You got broke off because you earned it. But you're not going to come back in my office and cry for another $1 million. No, screw that. Get out of here, man. Get on my face. No. And Darrelle wasn't even that damn good. Richard Sherman is better than him. You know what I'm saying? Way better than him. And I'm not saying that because Sherman played on the nine. I'm saying that because I respect Sherman as a damn player. You know what I'm saying? And he's from Bronx. You know what I'm saying? Sorry. Apologies. A little passionate when I come to my California folks. You know what I'm saying? But that's because Micah don't have Mike ain't good against the run. Mike is a good pass rusher and a good edge setter to an extent. But that's what his skill is. His skill ain't stopping the run. I think a lot of people going one-on-one up against Michael Parsons. He's not a big wall. You know what I'm saying? You will run through that guy. You just got to do it. That's all. You know what I'm saying? But this is, I don't know why I went into that soliloquy. Dave just summed it up. It's very easy. They just don't make good decisions. But once again, season started. I'll be back, you know what I'm saying, probably throughout the week. Hit y'all with a couple of shorts. If there's anything extra that happens in the NFL, definitely check out my short on Jerry. I do a very good Jerry Jones impression. I do a good impression in general. I'm fairly good at them. I'm not great. I ain't on Jay Farrell's level, but I'm getting there. I'm pretty close. You know what I'm saying? I can do just about anybody. But at the end of the day, man, thank y'all for tuning in. Everybody stay up, stay faithful, stay blessed. Have a wonderful week. Football is back, baby. Let's all smile and be happy.